So I was talking with my friend here in France, and we both discovered that both of us were quite obsessed with pirates in our youth. And it got me to thinking, oh my gosh, I've never made a pirate macaron before. So in light of that, I decided to create a duo, a pairing of a pirate macaron with kind of a sea, treasure beach themed macaron to go with it. So let me dive in. I'm going to start with that kind of beachy vibe macaron by adding some Hawaiian blue from the Sugar Art Elite Macaron colorant here into my macaron batter here. I use the French method for my meringue and I'm just folding it in. It's a little bit hard to view all of this in my kitchen here in France. I don't have quite the tools. So if you are new to macarons or doing a macaronage, I highly recommend another one of my videos. This video is more for style and idea than process and technique. Okay, continuing on with the macarons, I am just putting that batter when I get to the ribbon stage into my piping bag, and I'm piping regular old circles here. And the reason I just want circles today is because I'm going to be adding some decoration on the top of them. So I want a really pristine, nice surface to work on, and I don't need to worry about spending time or effort creating really funky shells or designs. So as soon as I get these piped, I'll just tap the bottom of my trays, let them rest until a skin forms, get them into the oven, bake them, cool them, match them up, and then get into the decoration. For the decoration, I will be using these Biscoff cookies and some royal icing because I don't have all the tools I necessarily want at my disposal. They are a little bit, we'll say, of a creative endeavor. But to start off with, I'm just crushing up these Biscoff cookies in a bag. If you have a food processor, that would be lovely, until they look like sand. Yes, you can use any other cookie, graham cracker, shortbread, whatever that looks sandy to you. Now, to get that to stick onto my macaron, yes, I could have sprinkled it on before baking, but I really wanted to keep the vibe of this is an ocean and an island, a sandbar, just kind of a beachy vibe. But I didn't want any really concrete lines or like, here's the beach and here's the ocean. So I just piped some of that royal icing in the center in random blobs, and then I just smushed it into the crushed up cookies so it looked like I had these little pockets of sand in some really beautiful oceany water. Now I wanted to do this step first because I have some other decorations I want to add on top, but I want to add them on once this royal icing layer has time to dry. So I'm gonna get this all set up here while I work on the rest of my decorations. Now here's the kind of tricky part. I wanted to create some little shells, which I think are great to do in royal icing. And I also wanted some little gold coin looking things. And if I had more resources here in France, I would have either used flat, like confetti looking sprinkles or gotten gold sprinkles already, and then painted them gold if they weren't gold, but I did not have them and I didn't want to go looking for them. So I just piped, in addition to those little shells, some flat little discs that I could turn into gold coins. For the shells, I really like the look of them just being white, but you absolutely could add some pink or kind of a rosy hue or whatever other color you want. And then for the little gold coins I created, I just used that same white royal icing, and I'm going to paint them with gold as soon as they attach them to the shells. Once again, I'm going in with that exact same royal icing to stick the shells and the little gold coins onto the sandy macarons that I have so far. And I just kind of want it to look like some shells and gold washed up on a beach. Again, we're thinking pirates here. So I'm just going in once all of that has dried with some gold luster dust, and I'm painting those little coins. Time to move on to the pirate face macaron, and I'm so excited about this one. I have my regular old piping tip here that I'm using in a larger size, and I also have a really small piping tip as well. You don't need to use these exact sizes. My main point is one large, one small, and I'm going to be using true brown. I want to achieve a sort of skin color, so whatever skin color means to you, you can go for that vibe. I'm starting off again with a French meringue here, so I've got my egg whites in a bowl. I'll stream in my sugar, get to that stiff peak, fold in my dry ingredients, and of course I want to make sure I've got that colorant in there as well.
I was out there alone, moving from station to station. I've been searching for the right one, but I was ready for something more. My perfect love, you were out there going solo. You've been running with the wild ones, and you were ready for something more. Something more.
get to the ribbon stage, I'm going to transfer the batter into those 2 different piping bags that I have, most of it into the larger piping bag where I'll pipe just regular old circles. And then after I pipe that and I tap the bottom of my tray, I'm going to go back in with the smaller piping tip and pipe little noses. You absolutely could do this with a pen or royal icing later on, but I just thought it would be really cute texture and easy to do, especially if I'm trying to keep everything the same skin tone, to just pipe the nose on really cute, kind of in the center, but a little bit lower than exactly the center of the face. Those are going to rest, bake, cool, and get matched there. And as you can see right now, it looks a little bit strange, not really sure, kind of looks like a belly button. But as soon as I get my food coloring pen and royal icing out here, they will suddenly look like pirate faces. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw on one little oval for an eye and then a little kind of smirking smile underneath where the nose is. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go in with black royal icing, and I'm going to drag a line from above where the eye is and then down. We're creating an eye patch here, so about where you would expect the second eye to be drawn on or placed, you can just make a square or rectangle in royal icing. Now I want to do this first so that any corners or little things might be covered up by a red kind of royal icing bandana later, and I don't want the eye patch or anything to either interfere or go over the top of that. And I also want to make sure that I have room enough for the face. That's the most important part for me, and I don't want it to get all squished and weird at the bottom. So I highly recommend doing this step first and letting that dry before adding on the bandana. I piped on the bandana in a couple different ways, but I actually found that my favorite was using a paintbrush and just brushing red royal icing over the top, kind of the top third, I would say, of the macaron to be in the place where kind of a bandana would be on your head. And then kind of I went for the stereotypical look, the red bandana with the white polka dots. And I did a couple where I piped on the red and then I piped the white immediately, so it really looked like it was part of the fabric, but I wasn't loving the consistency and it seemed very thick to me, so I decided that I liked the look of just painting it on better. Again, this was my first attempt at a pirate, so let's just take all of this with a grain of salt and give me some grace here to figure everything out. There was a lot of trial and error going on as I was filming this. So anyway, somehow get some color over the top of your pirate's head. And then I think the most important part that absolutely was a success was I cut a little sort of V out of my piping bag, or you could use a leaf piping tip, and I just piped 2 little bits there to kind of look like the bandana was tied off over the pirate's ear, or just to the side. It could be on either side, it doesn't really matter, but I think it's a really fun and adorable touch to add to this macaron. As with anything that's decorated with royal icing, you will want to give these time to dry so you don't smush or ruin any of your hard work while you are filling them. But as soon as they are firm to the touch, you can jump right in with filling them. For the filling, I just went really simple and really classic. For the pirate, I mixed some Nutella into my Swiss meringue buttercream recipe. I also have a piping bag of just straight up Nutella, and I'm going to pipe the buttercream and then go in with the straight up Nutella and pipe that right into the inside. You can finish this off with a little bit of sea salt if you want. I think that pairs well with anything that is super sweet and chocolatey, or you don't have to. That is up to you. These can be sandwiched and refrigerated for 24 hours to mature before biting into them. And then let's move on to our second flavor. Because I use the Biscoff as little crumbly sand on the top, I wanted to mirror that flavor on the inside. So I picked up some Biscoff cookie butter from the store. You could create your own, or honestly, you can use whatever filling your little heart desires, but I think a cookie butter filling is just perfect for the flavor and color of these Macs. After you pipe your buttercream filling, you can just sandwich them and stick them into the fridge again to mature for about a day before diving into them. I was so pleased with how these macarons turned out, and I really hope you give these piratey macarons a try as well in your own kitchen. If you are inspired by this or any of my other videos, please tag me on Instagram. I would love to see your end results. Until next time, have a wonderful day. Bye!